Hello guys and welcome to this tropical update, and in this video we're going to be talking about Major Cyclone ILSA, and this is a tropical cyclone that's going to be bringing its wrath into the northwestern Australian region here, and we're going to take a look at the particulars here where it is located at 17.1 south, 119.3 east, maximum winds about 105 knots, or I think that's 120 miles an hour. Yeah, 120 miles an hour. Pressure is down to 953 millibars, but there has been some reports going on that pressure could be down as low as 943 millibars, or potentially even lower than that. So take that as you will. We're going to take a look at the infrared here, the IR here, and as you can see, man, it's just rotating around so quickly right now. You can see where the eye is trying to, clear up, and the problem with that is, obviously still with some vertical wind shear and those extreme negative 90-degree cloud tops are really making it difficult for Ilsa to clear this eye out as we speak. And you can see how extensive this system is. This influences is from probably 13 south to like 21 south. That's a decently big system. And some of these feeder bands, outer rain bands, are starting to make its way on the Australian coast. So with that, as low as this thing is moving right now, you guys are going to be dealing with flash flooding. Yes, this is going to be a flooding concern for many places in Australia in the coming days. So let's take a look at we're going to take a look at the visible. No, that's not the one I want yet. What about high res? The sun is starting to come out in this region, but it's not, showing too much, so we can't really look at that. All right, here's the Joint Typhoon Warning Center cone here, and they're expecting 130 knot peak here tomorrow morning around 2 a.m. So, you know, they expect some modest strengthening here from 105 to 130, and we're probably hitting around the 120 knot peak, not peak, but intensity right now, if not a little bit more so. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the GFS, and obviously we know that the wind threat is going to be there. So this is more looking at the flooding concerns and where this thing might get up and affect which areas. You know, at this point, you can't get away from the wind event. That's just how it is in some of these areas in northwest Australia. So here we are. This was initialized at 18Z. We're at 943 millibars, so that's about right. That's about right. And as you can see, it kind of just creeps its way south and then southeast as we head out through the next 18 hours. So this is why this is going to be a real big flooding concern, is because it's moving slowly. And we got a 938 millibar. I guess between 938 and 941 millibar landfall here in the next, say like 19 to 20 hours. And as you can see, after it makes landfall, it kind of just speeds up a little bit and gets caught up in the trough frontal action here, and then it dissipates at hour 66. So let's take a look at the precipitation. How much rain are we expecting from the system? And some of these coastal areas here, we're looking about a foot to 15 inches of rain here in some of these locations, and that's definitely a flash flooding concern. There's no doubt about it. If not that you should leave your house during a significant event like this, but if you've absolutely got to, remember the phrase turn around, do not drown. Because that's, yeah, I've said this a lot of times during a lot of tropical videos, but flooding and anything involving water with cyclones are some of the most deadliest forces in these systems. So please bear that in mind as we go forward through time. So, like I said, about a foot and a half. Seems about the order of that. All right, so here is the ECMWF, and obviously it's it's pretty bad in the pressure department. I'm not gonna lie to you, but that is the typical European way. Is they're pretty bearish when it comes to systems most of the time. So what we're seeing going forward is Euro is slower with the landfall than it is the GFS. So it gives it more time over water, about 12 hours worth, and it makes landfall at 962 millibars. So what does it do going forward? It weakens kind of slowly at first, but then obviously because you're farther inland and the brown ocean effect isn't really taking too much of effect, it starts to weaken pretty rapidly after about say the 45-hour mark. So let's go to 60 hours here. Let's see what the precipitation is looking like here. And it's a little bit less than the GFS, but this is still a flooding concern for those portions in northwest Australia. So, along with the winds, along with the storm surge, and everything else that comes with these tropical systems, you're also going to get the flooding. You're going to get the whole 9 yards in some of these portions. All right, let's take a look at the H wharf here. Is 18Z far enough in? No, we're going to use 12Z for now. All right, so obviously we're not going to get the best, you know what? Hold on. Let's use 18Z, and then we're going to use 12Z for rainfall. So this was initialized at 18Z, and as you can see, 950 millibars. It's decent. The initialization in the pressure department is so-so. Not terrible, but it's not the best. So as we go forward, obviously it strengthens it pretty decently. 916 millibars. That pressure is a Category 5, but whether or not it gets to a Category 5, that is yet to be seen. Me personally, I have 130 knot peak on this thing, so not a Category 5. So as we head out through time, we're gonna see probably a 919 millibar or so landfall because it doesn't show those frames that it makes exact landfall. And then obviously we get somewhat moderate weakening. It's not fast weakening, probably because of brown ocean effect, but we do got some modest weakening. All right, so now we're going to take a look at the 12Z for rainfall purposes, because obviously, we're not going to see the rainfall totals on the H wharf. I totally forgot about that. But you know what? We're gonna go to another model here. We gotta pick ourselves up. We gotta move forward. So let's take a look at the CMZ if it loads. That'd be nice. Okay, I guess we're not gonna do that either. So let's back up. All right. CMC Australian region. Let's go to our 66 as we did with the other models. So the CMC, we're looking about a foot to a foot and a half, just like these models here, GFS, European, and CMC are all in the same boat when it comes to rainfall totals of the system. So it's just going to be an all around bad situation. It's now getting to that point where it's now too late probably to get out, unless you leave like right now. Don't wait 6 hours, because then that's when everything will probably start up. If you gotta go now, or weather it out, stay inside, put shutters up, do what you gotta do to be safe. But preferably, we ask you to go. Don't stay at coastal areas. That's just ask for bad news. All right, so what is the sea surface temperatures looking like on the rest of its journey to Northwest Australia? And obviously, we're looking here at the very like bottom right here, and we got some really dark shades here. So this is indicative of about 30 degrees Celsius or so in this region where Ilsa, I really don't think I'm saying that right, but I'm trying my best, where the major cyclone is going to be taking shape. And it still got some major fuel to work with, very high ocean heat content. The only thing that's really going to be bothering this thing is the consistent shear that it's been dealing with. So, with that being said, I want to, you know, I wish that Northwest Australian people are really taking this seriously because this is going to be a very dangerous event. So, with that being said, I will have one more update for you guys tomorrow on Ilsa, along with some other things. So, until then, I want to thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys have a great day. And stay safe. That is the number one thing. Stay safe.